I'm increasingly hearing from high net worth individuals who would like to get a second residence, would like to get a second passport, but they don't like the idea of donating money, and they don't want the hassle of either buying overpriced real estate or having to manage a decently priced price of real estate to get their residence or citizenship by investment. So today I'm going to share with you 8 countries where investing in bonds will help you either get an instant second passport or a second residence that will help lead to second citizenship. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, and here at Nomad Capitalist, I've spent over a dozen years building a global network and assembling a team of almost 30 people who help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs legally go where they are treated best. You can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. And today, I want to share with you second residence and second passport opportunities for bond investors. Let's start with a couple of countries that allow you to get instant citizenship just by buying bonds. The first one is St. Lucia in the Caribbean. I've personally been through this program, and generally in the past, the St. Lucia bond program has been $500,000 in bonds plus a government processing fee of $50,000 rather than a donation of $100,000. So for a lot of people, the opportunity cost just never made sense. What they have done in the latter part of the year 2020 is offered a COVID relief bond where they've cut the investment requirement down to $250,000 for a limited time, and they've also cut the $50,000 processing fee down to $30,000. So now you can save $70,000 in sunk costs, you can invest your money for 5 years, you get a St. Lucian citizenship, and you can eventually get that $250,000 back without interest. So if you're looking for a second citizenship in the Caribbean, that's one that is not a bad option. Also in Turkey, definitely a different kind of second passport, but one that can also be obtained in a matter of months. Now, most people choose the $250,000 real estate option, and there are some decent options if you work with a team like Nomad Capitalist, where you're not buying the gringo real estate and you're actually buying stuff that's fairly priced. You can get some decent deals, but for some people, that's quite a hassle. So you can double that investment up to $500,000, and one of the options for a capital investment at that level is buying bonds. And so that would be one option. You can put your money in Turkey and get a citizenship very quickly. Now, let's talk about residence permits. The United Kingdom, one of the most sought-after countries in the world by many people, has what's called a Tier 1 visa program that allows you to become a resident and work towards their version of permanent residence, ILR, in a matter of 5, 3, or even 2 years, depending on how much you invest. Now, the caveat, which probably doesn't affect you if you're watching this, is that in order to become a long-term resident of the UK, you need to speak English. So if you give yourself a 2-year timeline by investing more money in bonds, then you're going to have a hard time perhaps learning English. But if you're watching this, it's probably not your issue. So starting at 2 million British pounds and going all the way up to 10 million British pounds, those are the numbers depending on how long that you'd like to wait to lock in your more permanent status. Now, unlike some of the golden visa programs in Europe, this is not a program where you can simply never live in the United Kingdom and work towards citizenship. You do need to live there, so you definitely want to look at some of the tax planning opportunities in the UK if you're actually going to go and live there, or you're going to keep it as a residence that may never lead to that more permanent status or citizenship. But certainly, if you have £2 million to put into British bonds, it's one option to consider. New Zealand, another increasingly popular option among high net worth individuals, has numerous programs for investors to put money into the New Zealand markets, which could include debt options. Now, there's a retirement option, which is a little bit less permanent. That one starts at 750,000 New Zealand dollars. And then there are the Investor 1 and the Investor 2 options that start at 3 million New Zealand dollars, go up to 10 million New Zealand dollars, depending on, again, how little time you want to spend in the country. So if you invest less, you need to spend more time in the country to lock in your status and work towards citizenship. If you invest more, you only need to be there for about 6 weeks a year. And so if you have 10 million New Zealand dollars to invest and you like the idea of having access to a country that, while not particularly income tax friendly, has other tax benefits, a country that is pretty isolated, that could be a benefit, then I do think there are a lot of other options that you want to consider in addition to New Zealand. We made a video about that on YouTube, other options to consider. But New Zealand, for 10 million New Zealand dollars, really makes it very easy with very minimal time spent in the country, or you can go for one of the less expensive options as well. Back to Europe. Many people are familiar with Portugal and their Golden Visa program, where you can buy real estate from 500,000 euros all the way down to lesser amounts depending on the quality of the real estate that you're looking to buy. There's also other options, including a bond option. And many people don't talk about this because the number is substantially higher. It's €1 million investment, which can be in Portuguese debt. And so if you don't want to buy real estate, if you don't want to invest in a managed fund, then there is an option to simply just make a capital investment into Portugal. You can do that at the €1 million level. Next door in Spain, they have a golden visa, but they also have a €2 million government bond investment option. Now, some of the programs that I've mentioned, you can invest in any kind of different debt, whether it's government or otherwise. In the case of Spain, I believe it generally needs to be government debt only. But if you want to put €2 million into Spanish government debt, you can get relatively favorable conditions for having a residence permit, working your way towards permanent residence, working your way towards citizenship. It's a relatively long timeline to citizenship in Spain, and certainly is one of the few countries in Europe left that has a wealth tax. I can't say it's my favorite option, but if you like Spain, and I have had families where someone in the family only wants to move to Spain, that's the only place they'll go, they certainly do have some nominal tax savings opportunities for new immigrants, and you can get your way with Spanish bonds. Next door to Spain, in Andorra, there is a €400,000 basically Category A residence program. Now, Andorra is not talked about that much. There's a couple different criteria that you need to satisfy to become a resident of Andorra. One of them is you actually do need to be in the country for 90 days a year. The other one is you need to set up a bond for yourself in case you are, out of the residence program, and to make sure that you can support yourself. But you can make a €400,000 investment. I think most people look at it as a real estate investment, but there are opportunities to invest actually in debt in Andorra. And so if you want to put €400,000 into the Principality of Andorra, it's a very, very long road to citizenship, even longer than Spain. You're looking at decades to getting citizenship. But if you're looking for a peaceful, rather isolated, very tax-friendly country, if you like the Four Seasons, if you like skiing, and if you want a place where you don't have to spend that much time to keep the residents active, then Andorra may be a decent option. It's a cheaper bond option than in Portugal. Portugal may be easier to handle if you're looking to make other investments, but if you just want to make a capital investment, Andorra might not be a bad opportunity for you. The last Golden Visa program in Europe that is worth taking a look at is in Latvia. This program, kind of like the UK program, used to be pretty popular, and it's kind of fallen out of favor. They don't really issue too many residence permits in Latvia anymore to investors. The most common one has recently been forming a company and paying a certain amount of tax every year. So if you have a business, that may be one way to go. There's also a real estate option, but it's more restrictive than some of the other golden visas in Europe. And you can also make a debt obligation with the bank. However, if you invest €250,000 in government debt at 0% interest, you can get a Latvian residence permit. It starts as temporary. If you actually live in the country, it can become permanent. Otherwise, you just keep it as temporary for as long as you hold the investment. Again, not as good for second citizenship, but if you like more of the Four Seasons, I know some people, they like more of that Eastern European vibe. Riga, really developed, very beautiful city, really beautiful winters actually. Nice place to spend time if that's, you want that more calm, quiet atmosphere. You don't want Portugal, which is becoming a bit more popular. It's certainly warmer there. I think Riga offers some interesting opportunities. And so Latvia offers their own program for bond investors as well. So those are 8 countries where you can invest money in bonds, you can invest money in debt, whether it's with the government or with corporations, get yourself a residence permit, and possibly even a passport. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.